No, that's not even grammatically correct.
So for me, the next logical step in appreciating the band was to consider getting some of their original albums on vinyl. Oh, excuse me. Man, that's rude. The earliest album that I have by Yes is the Yes album from 1971. It has pictures in there. I believe this is the first album to feature the guitarist Steve Howe. It has excellent songs such as Yours Is No Disgrace, the ever popular I've Seen All Good People, and of course the 9.5-minute Starship Trooper, one of the early Yes epics. This is a great album. Next, there is the later 1971 release, Fragile. This, of course, is their first album to feature beautiful Roger Dean artwork. Of course, a boring inside. This album, of course, is fantastic, like I described earlier. Now, I have both the CD and the record. I haven't gotten a chance to listen to both of these closely yet, but I'm really interested in kind of deriving the differences between the two and see what sounds better. Next up, we've got the 1972 release, Close to the Edge. Again, this is probably my favorite Yes album ever. And of course, it was actually the first vinyl that I picked up. Now, it's got the nice Roger Dean panoramic painting on that gatefold. And of course, this album is just fantastic. Again, I've got both the Rhino remaster and the original vinyl of this, and I'd really like to take some time to listen to both of these really closely and see what effect the remastering has on the classic songs that were presented in this. A lot of people talk about the process of remastering, possibly removing the dynamics by pushing the volumes up and engaging in what I've heard some people call the loudness war. I'm not an expert on these things, and I'm curious as to maybe what you guys think. Would you rather listen to a remastered album on CD, or would you rather listen to that great old vinyl sound on a record player? Comment if that's something you know anything about, because I'm interested in that. Next up, I have 1973's Tales of Topographic Ocean. This is actually a double LP. There are 2 records in here. Even though this album includes 2 records, there are only 4 songs. So there's 1 song on each side of each record. And this is really Yes at its most self-indulgent. This album is really, I'm going to say it's not that good. I don't care for it. I'm not going to say that there are not some great parts on here, but even the members of Yes themselves said that they had too much material to put on 1 LP and not enough material to put on 2 LPs. So there's a lot of filler on here. So Tales of Topographic Ocean, really for hardcore Yes fans only. So after Tales of Topographic Ocean, Rick Wakeman, their piano player, quit the band, and they brought on a new guy. I believe his name was Patrick Moraz. They recorded the album Relayer. Now this is actually a pretty good album. It has 3 songs on 1 LP, and there are some really interesting pieces on here. It has a little bit more of a jazz feel to it because of the type of keyboard work that Patrick Moraz was doing on this album. But again, it's a pretty interesting album, and I would recommend it if you like Yes and you want to hear something that's a little bit outside of what they were doing at the time. So after the tour supporting drama, Trevor Horn and Jeff Downs, that's his name, the keyboardist that was from the Buggles, they left the band and they were replaced by a South African guitarist guy named Trevor Rabin, and he helped them make the album 90125. A lot of Yes fans don't like this because they say Yes sold out and made a more radio-friendly pop, rock, 80s metal album. And while that's the case, to some degree, that relevance to the mainstream audience allowed them to survive. And there are actually some really good songs on here. The last vinyl Yes album that I have is Big Generator. This came out in 1987. It features, again, Trevor Rabin as the principal songwriter and one of the main vocalists in the band. Now, I don't have any of the later Yes records. I know the Union album came out after that, which I would love to get on vinyl, but since that was released in '91, after the compact disc was starting to become very dominant, the pressing was probably pretty limited, and I haven't been able to find a copy of that record yet.